cybersecurity domain nowadays. These are like the examples of a few attacks on the banking infrastructure which have happened in the past few years. Cosmos Bank and then City Union Bank were actually cooperative banks of India. And then this was Bangladesh's central bank, which happened in 2016. That was also one of the major attacks. Uh, so we'll just talk about briefly about the Cosmos Bank, which happened in 2018. Cosmos Bank was actually a Pune-based cooperative bank, and around 78 crore rupees were actually taken from this bank by cloned ATM cards, which were swiped in 28 different countries on the same day. And then another attack happened when they were able to compromise one of the Swift gateways, which is basically a computer, which is basically a server that takes care of all the handshaking between the transactions. So 13.9 crore rupees were actually transferred by compromising the Swift gateway to a Hong Kong-based bank. So these two things happened, and then obviously this was all over the news in 2018. And then these are like this was an example of fake Arogya Setu applications which were doing the rounds once the government released the Arogya Setu application for contact tracing for COVID-19. So there were a lot of links like this which were doing the rounds on WhatsApp and via SMSs, which said that it is mandatory to install this particular application, and it was actually a fake application which would take the user's data. So this is an example of TikTok, which was recently banned by the government, and there were several reports from various different countries about TikTok specifically, that it was collecting information which it was not supposed to be taking from the users, and all this set of information was being used for user profiling, so that targeted advertisements could actually be served to them. This is an example of a defacement, which means if you find a website which has certain vulnerability or weakness, as you can call it, you can actually, an attacker might be able to exploit that vulnerability, and then he might be able to change the homepage to look like something else. Most of the times, this is only done for fun and by by newbie hackers for like experimentation purpose, and to they basically take hold of government website, and then they put their own logos or their custom text on the homepage, so that anybody who comes to the website will be able to see their photo on the homepage. And this is an example of a ransom email. So most of the times what would happen in this particular case is that you would get an email in your inbox which would appear to come from your own email account. So you would actually think that it is coming from your own email account, but actually such emails are sent from anonymous email providers. You can just go to Google and search for anonymous emailer, and you'll find a lot of such websites which offer these features, where you can send an email to anybody and masquerading as anyone else. So most of the times such emails will actually say that they have some confidential information about you, and if you don't want them to share it with your contacts, and if you don't want them to post that information online, you need to pay them some certain amount of money in Bitcoins. Then this is an example of cryptojacking, wherein any website which is visited by a lot of people, it is compromised, and the hacker actually places a 2 or 3 line code inside the web page itself. So whenever you go to that website, your CPU resources are actually used to start mining cryptocurrency for the hacker. So this was an example like that, and it's called cryptojacking. Then you might have heard of ransomware, which means there will be a malware on your machine which will actually encrypt all your files so that you are not able to see them. Only if you pay a certain amount of money in Bitcoins to the attacker will they actually give you the key to the data, and then you can start decrypting your files and start using them again. So if you have any questions, we can take them. about all these things? Otherwise, we'll start with the next module. Naresh sir, any questions in the chat box?
Yes. I am unmuting. Let's hear from sir.
Sure.
Just
Sure.
so
Implement the format of the bill in which format in which the bill for the circuits is to be submitted. Instead for circuits is to be submitted. It is required can be given occasional invoice quarterly in this format along with the
There's a lot
invoice
of noise.
clearly
I think all of them have gotten
stated details of
unmuted.
tax.
That's why. So I think there are no questions, sir. I think we can move on to the next module probably.
please ask them to post in the chat box.
Sure. So if you have any questions, you can actually post in the chat box and we'll take them later, or maybe within the after we complete this module, we can take a look at the questions. So just keep posting them in the chat box. So moving on to the next module, which is talking about vulnerabilities. So while discussing all these current trends and the commonly executed cyber attacks these days, so I talked about a term called vulnerability. So vulnerability, as the word suggests, is basically weakness in the system. And very simply, if we want to talk about vulnerabilities in layman terms, this is what it is. It is just a hole inside the fence. If you don't want somebody to enter, you make a fence. And then if there is a hole inside it, then somebody can come through it. So that is how most of the attacks are carried out. So this is the Wikipedia definition of it, but I'm just skipping this because there's not much we can actually make out of it. So there are different kinds of types of vulnerabilities which are there. So there are three types which we are going to talk about. First one is technology weakness. The second one is configuration weakness, and the third one is security policy weakness. So technology weakness means when there is an unintentional error in or bug in the code which has been left by the developer, and that bug can actually be exploited by the attacker to gain access to the system. So this is called technology weakness, wherein in the inherent code itself there is some error or some bug which has been left behind unintentionally. Then configuration weakness means when the product is okay as such, but while you're configuring it to use on your own premises, you are making some error. The admin is actually making some configuration error, which is leading to a configuration weakness in the system. So, for example, most of the routers, when you get them, they have a default username and password. It is actually the job of the administrator or the network administrator to change the default credentials so that they cannot be accessed by those credentials as such. So if you are failing to do that, and if you're leaving your default credentials as it is on your devices, then this is basically a configuration weakness. Third one is security policy weakness. So you might have tried to sign into different email providers and different websites on the web. And when you try to enter a new password over there, they tell you that you need to have different kinds of characters like small letters and then capital letters and then special characters, numbers. So this is basically a security policy which is being enforced by the organization so that you are not able to keep any weak password on your account. So if the organization is not enforcing such policies, then it is basically a security policy weakness.